Okay, so what's up, guys? So this is gonna be a long video. Okay, I believe so. Basically, this video will be about male accountability. Okay, or in a sense, holding men accountable. We'll talk about that. Okay, so there's gonna be a lot of videos talking about it because it's a big, kind of a viral thing right now. So we'll talk about this. Thanks to this man's video, right? You can see his podcast and stuff. So if you like him, check him out. I might check more of his stuff out. Be interesting to react to. So let's get started.
You may not harass women. You may know how to take rejection. The majority of men that most women deal with do not.
Yeah.
And you are accountable for that as well. Because I don't got time to figure out which white people are nice, which white people aren't racist, or da 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 da. I have to go on the actions of the group.
Right.
The group as a whole and the history of that group as a whole tells me that they are a danger to me and they are not to be trusted.
Right.
And if you can understand that as a black man and your stance towards white people, then you should absolutely be able to understand women's stance towards you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a war on you waged by women. Actually, the war get a little thicker when we start talking about it from the perspective of a woman and the greater society of racism and white supremacy being waged against black people, and then the patriarchal society being waged against women. So they have to deal with two elements. One of those elements we don't have to think about, and honestly, we're perpetuated.
Mm-hmm.
And it's perpetuated against us young to look at women as objects,
Right.
to look at women only through the lens of a sexual desire and not as the human being that they are. And when you understand how to deal with women on a human level, you understand how much women will enrich your life.
Mm. Amen. Amen.
You want to turn it up a notch?
Yeah.
Get you a good woman get you a good black woman in your corner.
Amen.
Hey, man, you want to see your life turn up?
Hey.
And see, this is the thing, though. It's a privilege, bro. It's a privilege. You know what I'm saying? We often disregard the power of our black women, the spiritual essence that they're gonna bring to things, the knowing, the seeing. You know what I'm saying? Also, too, imagine it. They have to be hyper vigilant because they have to be constantly scanning the room, making sure that they're in a safe situation.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? When we think about these kids who were clearly in Louisiana having the time of their fucking life because they graduated, and we think about white people's reaction to Black Joy.
Oh yeah, that's
It's not about civility. It's not about decorum. They don't like to see us happy.
that's what it is.
Now, how often are women just having a good time, and here come a nigga trying to ruin their fun?
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. You can call it pandering, but if I was up here caping for white women, you wouldn't even mention that word. If I was up here caping for Hispanic women, you wouldn't even call it pandering. Only when we take pride and show love to black women do you call it pandering. Get your motherfucking mind right. Use your cabeza. You may not harass women.
This is the thing where I always like to point out. Seems logical, if you don't dissect it, but if you actually, you know, put some thought into it, it's filled with hypocrisy. It's filled with, oh, this makes sense, but the same thing reverse doesn't make sense. That's the thing. That's the thing where why it turns to pandering. Why it turns to pandering, because when it's not logical, you're just trying to gear to emotion, right? You're pandering. Because in my personal opinion, pandering is usually emotional manipulation. Pandering. Not logical. It's not based on logic. Because here's the thing where he's going to talk about, right? He's talking about the whole, and I did a video about it, where the bunch of graduate students, bunch of kids dancing, really all out, go crazy dancing. On the surface, it looks fine. It's cool, right? But when you think about it, you don't understand that image, right? Because we have to understand. I'm sorry, but social media, entertainment, it's It helps perpetuate an image on the world stage. People from the rest of the world, from all around the world, will see that image, and a lot of times, people are stupid, right? People are stupid, so they will take that as face value. They will take that at face value. It's like, oh, okay, wow, is that how black people act? Okay, that's how black people act. So that is what they think. Oh, that's how white people act. That's how Asian people act. Because no duh, we've been there, right? I've been there, where because you see Asian stereotypes on social media, on movies and all that stuff. Well, you get the whole people do the whole, fake Asian accent, fake Asian languages, shit too. That is reality. People are stupid. People will take shit thanks to social media, thanks to entertainment on face value. They will believe, oh, that is the culture, that is the people. So that is 100% true. Whether you like it or not, that is how it is. So, okay, why people had the problem with those kids dancing? It's not because they had a problem with those kids dancing. They had a problem because that is an image you will paint. At a moment that personal opinion, okay? Let's be honest, graduations and all that that kind of ceremony, it's a white people thing. It's a white people thing. Okay? Graduation shit is not an Africa thing. So really it's not steep in African tradition. So how that the graduation thing, it has its background, its kind of symbolism is very class, modest. It's just decorum. So that is how it is. Period. So when people now see that, they get a certain image that these people are classless. Whether you hate it or not, that's the view. Because here's the thing, what he said. Let's go with what he's just said.
You may know how to take rejection. The majority of men that most women deal with do not.
Yeah.
And you are accountable for that as well. Because I don't got time to figure out which white people are nice, which white people aren't racist, or da-da-da-da-da.
Coming out of this man's mouth, right? I don't have time to figure out, which white people are nice. Well, which white people are racist. Cool, great. Guess what? This stupid mentality, white people have it too. White people have it too. I don't have time as a white man. I don't have time to, figure out what black people have class, what black people ain't ghetto, right? What black people ain't violent. This is the problem right here. This is the hypocrisy, okay? This right here is the hypocrisy where, oh, surprise, if you can think like that, why can't a white person think like that? Right? Why? What? And right now I'm just talking about the race part. I'm going to talk about men and women part, okay? Because that shows you already the hypocrisy. This shows you why this man is pandering. It's the hypocrisy in his words. Why can you see it in one view? Oh, I don't have time to figure out what white person is racist, what white person is good, what okay, great. Perfectly reasonable. But why are you surprised that a white person has that same point of view too? Why? Why can't a white person have the point of view that I can't, I don't have time to, figure what black person is nice, what black person isn't ghetto. That is the hypocrisy. You can see it on one side, right? You can see the logic, right? From the black to the white part. But you can't see the logic from the white to the black part. That means it ain't logical. It is pandering. It is pandering because you are just purely going about emotion. That's the thing. So that already there, right? His ideology, the basis of his ideology when it comes to race already is illogical. Because here's the thing where I'm going to show you, right? I'm going to show you this.
Chicago police are looking for 14 people accused of beating and robbing a couple on the Red Line. It happened on May 7th on a train that was in the Printers Row neighborhood. Police say the young men and women displayed a knife and used pepper spray on the couple while taking their property. Chicago police are looking for.
So tell me, from that black man's mouth. I don't have time to figure out what white person is good, what person is bad, what white person is racist. Okay. If that is logical, right? If that is logical in your mind, how can you not see the logic in a white man's mind, in a white person's mind? I don't have time to figure out what black person is good, what black person is nice, what black person isn't gonna rob me, gonna threaten me, gonna be ghetto, gonna be violent. I don't have time for it. So I'm gonna treat all the same way. I, I mean, come on. Literally from a black man's mouth. Okay? So if you agree with that, how can you not agree with it in reverse? Oh my god, it's racist when a white man does it? That's the hypocrisy in it, right? This is the hypocrisy of when you want to, because this is the thing where I've said this before. If you want to be treated the same, you have to be the same. You have to be the same. You have to have the same decorum. You have to have the same logic throughout. You want to have that kind of logic? Okay. It has to be the same if it's reversed. Okay? But no, you want to hold other people accountable, but never who it matters. Right? Never who it matters to. Right? Never when it makes sense. This is the thing where it is understandable. You want to hold the community accountable. I'm talking about right now. I'm still talking about the race part. I'm going to be talking about the men and women dynamic. Fine, it is understandable. You want to hold, let's say, the white people as a whole accountable. Okay, then don't be surprised that white people will want to hold black people as a whole accountable. And when you judge white people on the bad ones, okay, guess what? White people will judge the black community on the bad ones as well. You cannot see logic in one way, and then when it's reversed, oh my god, it's not logical anymore. What? Oh my god, it's racist. What? Why wasn't it racist when you did it when that logic was pointed towards someone else? Right? Why is that logic logical, not racist, when it's pointed towards someone else? But when it's pointed towards you, now it's not logical. Now it's racist. That don't make sense. That don't make sense. All right, let's talk about the men and women dynamic of
May not harass women. You may know how to take rejection. The majority of men that most women deal with do not.
Yeah.
it. Guess what's the difference? It's the men that women deal with. It's the men that women deal with. It's the men that women, in a lot of times, choose to deal with. Now, here's the thing where, let me say this. The men that women don't choose to deal with, right? The men that, like, let's say if a woman goes to the gym, right? A woman goes to the gym and men are coming up to her, asking her out, or maybe even harassing her, okay? Yeah, I agree. That's disgusting. I 100% agree. Shit like that, unwanted attention, right? Unwanted attention. When women say no, and they mean no, and men don't take that as men don't, don't listen to that no. It is 100% disgusting. This 100% disgusting. I 100% hate that shit. But here's the thing. I want to say that one, it's not like something that haven't been taught. It's not something that you know that men don't know. This is the thing where it's just it's like this is the insanity of it. Men know right from wrong. People know right from wrong. This is the thing where I'm fine. I'm amazed with a lot of these people. People know not to steal. Hell, there's laws against it. There's laws against it not to steal. But people still do it. Whether it's like you can let's say this, you as a parent can tell your kid not to steal. Right? Of course. Laws will fuck you up if you steal. But guess what? There's still criminals in this world. Hell, there are some countries in this world where if you steal, your hand gets chopped off. But guess what? There are still people who do it regardless of the extreme punishment. It's like there are laws that will give you the death penalty if you kill. If you kill. Do you think we are murderless? You think this world, this country alone is murderless? No, it's not. So if the extreme punishment, okay, of death doesn't deter people from killing, could you not see that, you know what? They are good and they're bad people, right? And maybe shades of in between. It's like, yeah, no duh. It's like no one is teaching men to be evil, right? No one. This is the thing where I really want to understand these accountability stuff. No one is teaching people to cheat. No one. No one is saying cheating is okay. Well, maybe some people are saying cheating, which is that I will hold accountable, right? But this is the thing where everyone knows cheating is not okay. Everyone knows that being a terrible person, harassing women, is not okay. Everyone knows it. They know it's not okay. So really, I don't know who's saying that. Oh, yeah, men harassing women is okay. No, men know that. But here's the thing where I also want to say is that this is a thing where society does hold men accountable. Society have taught men that these things are not okay. But we also haven't done. Okay. Now I'm not saying all women, but there are a good subset of women that think playing around with no, right? Playing around with the word no is okay. Playing games. No one talks about that shit. This is a thing where it's always okay to hold men accountable. It's never okay to hold women. This is the thing. Society holds men accountable. Laws, family court, because here's the thing. You cheat. If you are married, you cheat, boom. Who you balance and probability, right? Who's going to be accountable for that? Men. Because what is it? 90% of alimony goes to women, and 70% of divorces are filed by women. Right? So even if a woman cheats, right, and divorces the man, court is not necessarily gonna have her pay him alimony. Right? I mean, come on. So really, even in our justice system, don't really hold women accountable. Hell, look at this, right? Women that, and it's been proven, right, statistically, women that commit the same crime as men, statistically get lesser sentences than men. So that even in our justice system already clearly shows that men are held more accountable for their actions than women are. That is the thing where men are held accountable. Men are held accountable. So that's the stupidness of it.
And you are accountable for that as well. Because I don't got time to figure out which white people are nice, which white people aren't racist, or da-da-da-da-da. I have to go on the actions of the group.
Right.
The group as a whole and the history of that group as a whole tells me that they are a danger to me and they are not to be trusted.
Right.
And if you can understand that as a black man and your stance towards white people, then you should absolutely be able to understand women's stance towards you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a war on you waged by women. Actually, the war get a little thicker when we start talking about it from the perspective of a woman and the greater society of racism and white supremacy being waged against black people, and then the patriarchal society being waged against women. So they have to deal with two.
This is why I call it. This is why this shit will be pandering, right? This is why it will be pandering. Because when you use these words, right? Because you want to pander, you want to emotionally manipulate. Because again, I already disproved the logic in the racism, about race. I already disproved it in my personal opinion. You agree with me or not, right? Tell me if you don't, right? But now I'm disproving the whole men and women dynamic because that's the insanity of it. Because you want to use these patriarchy, it's like seriously, go find a matriarchy, okay? The world is built like that. And here's the thing. Here's the thing I want to say. The whole patriarchy thing is so stupid, and it's because it's used. It's like we don't talk about this. What in the last only in the last 20 maybe 30 years is now this is coming up. It's how the world is. Right? It's how the world is. Even men are under that. We recognize, right? The world is built where there's powerful people on the top, less powerful people at the bottom. That's the world. That's the world, okay? And guess what? In that substack of less powerful people, it's majority of men. Majority of men.
Two elements. One of those elements we don't have to think about, and honestly, we're perpetuated.
Mhm.
And it's perpetuated against us young to look at women as objects,
Right.
to look at women only through the lens of a sexual desire.
Guess who's perpetuating that? It's like this is why it's so funny. Oh, let's hold men accountable. Let's hold men accountable. Yet, why this is pandering is because you consistently don't hold women. It's like always this. Men have grown up to say, "Oh, it's men are held accountable." Where is it? Where's the speak of holding women accountable? Where? I don't hear any. And it's fine. It's fine. Always constantly hold men accountable. Because here's the thing: majority of men, right, even at least in the black community, are raised by single moms. Guess who's perpetuating objectifying women? Guess who? Right? And this is the thing where we also don't recognize. Okay, you want to stop the objectifying of women? Let's control women then. Let's control women. Because here's my personal opinion. I believe women in today's day and age, where they're more sexually free than ever. Women are more sexually free than ever. Men are controlling women. I don't even think even in the least, right? I don't think at all, in my personal opinion. But at the very least, it's barely at all. Women are more sexually objectified now than they were, let's say, 100 years ago, right? Hell, maybe even when they were, maybe let's say 60 years ago. So really, it's like this is the insanity. Women are more objectified now when they are so sexually free than they were ever before. We have OF, we have social media, okay? And all those, no man is forcing a woman to do. No man is forcing a woman to do. So this is the insanity. Oh my God, let's hold men accountable, and then talk about sexually objectifying women. Are you crazy? Literally, women are sexually objectifying themselves.
And not as the human being that they are. And when you understand how to...
And this is the funny thing, right? When, let's say, men's content talks about it, he's misogynistic. When men's content tells advice to women, which is, women don't listen to it. Women are surprised that men content actually have advice for women. Is that have a lower body count, get married early, stop riding the dick carousel, right? Stop having high body counts. Stop having kids before marriage. That's all misogyny, right? Because men tell it to you straight. But when men are fine with emotionally manipulating you by pretty much saying the same thing, but putting the onus on men, it is okay, right? Putting the blame on men, oh no, that is fine, okay? That makes sense.
Deal with women on a human level, you understand how much women will enrich your life.
I'm doing construction. Hopefully you guys could hear, right? Hopefully you guys could hear.
Amen. Amen.
You want to turn it up a notch?
Yeah.
Get you a good woman get you a good black woman in your corner.
Amen.
Hey man, you want to see your life turn up?
Hey.
And see, this is the thing though. It's a privilege, bro. It's a privilege. You know what I'm saying? We often disregard the power of our black women. The spiritual essence that they're gonna bring to things. The knowing, the seeing, you know what I'm saying? Also, too, imagine it. They have to be hyper vigilant because they have to be constantly scanning the room, making sure that they're in a safe situation.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? When we think about these kids who were clearly in Louisiana having the time of their fucking life because they graduated, and we think about white people's reaction to Black Joy.
Oh yeah, that's
it's not.
This is the thing, right? I already pretty much said my piece about the whole Louisiana thing, but here's the thing: where he says white people are unhappy about Black Joy. Fine. What if you could see that? Okay. But this is the thing where I'm gonna lead it in a different way. Are white people unhappy because of Black Joy? Or white people unhappy because you demand to be treated the same, yet you make yourself look different. Now, here's the thing where I'm gonna piece this out. I support us. I support people being different. I support people being different, culturally different. Being different is not a bad thing. I want to also preference that I think legally we are treated the same. Personal opinion, legally we are treated the same. Individually, yeah, we aren't. No duh. We are society. We are one of the few society, and I think the most. Okay, we're the most diverse. We're one of the few diverse societies in this world, and the most diverse, in my personal opinion. There are more of any group in this world in this country than any other, country in this world, in my personal opinion. So we will treat each other differently. Now, I don't condone we treat each other bad. I don't condone that, but this is a thing where I'm amazed, right? Let's say a Black person, right? If he's a boss, whatever, he would treat, I guarantee you, he would treat a Black candidate differently than he would treat a white candidate, right? He will feel more familiarity, right? More closeness, more togetherness, more community essence, right? No duh. No duh. Are you surprised that a Black boss would treat a white candidate differently? Would you be surprised? No, you wouldn't. Because they don't feel familiar, right? They don't feel connection. They don't feel community. So you should not be surprised that if the races were reversed, the same shit will happen. Because here's the thing. He says shit Black to white, it's okay. He says shit that's Black to white, it's okay. But if it's white to Black, it's not. That's the thing. That's the hypocrisy. That is the insanity. So I don't expect that on an individual level, right? On an individual level, that we would treat each other the same. It's just how it's the drawback of diversity. But I'm glad that legally, right? As this is where I do not agree with systemic. I don't agree with. I agree with maybe individually, right? Maybe individual stand. I don't agree with systemic racism. I don't. I agree with individual. I agree with maybe not even necessarily racist, but maybe individual dickness, right? Individual jerkness, right? Being a jerk, being an asshole, being a dick. But this is the thing where, again, that's the drawback of being diverse. And this is the thing where it doesn't just happen to white to Black. literally, this man is saying it. It happens to black to white, right? And I'm gonna do a video, right? Probably some other time about there's a black militia group that's saying a lot of shit about white people, like saying that they should be slaves, that they should be shackled. Okay, great. If you can do that, if you have the mindset that, oh, I'm going to enslave, I'm going to control one race of people, you cannot be surprised. You cannot be surprised that another race would have that idea as well.
It's not about civility. It's not about decorum. They don't like to see us happy.
This is the thing where you see it from your perspective. And perfectly fine, right? You say it's not civility, not decorum. That's what you believe, and it's okay. But that you can't say that. Oh, white people can't tell me how to feel, right? What's my opinion? But you can tell what white people's opinions, what white people's feelings are. This is a thing where I get a lot of hate on my my other what is it? Black fatigue video, which I'm probably gonna do more. So be warned. Okay? But it's like I'm not talking about like race necessarily. I'm talking about hypocrisy. I'm talking about reality, understanding. Like I said, you cannot expect people to treat you the same when you are fine with representing yourself differently. So in this matter, like you cannot expect people to treat you with the same kind of like how they treat people of their own skin color. Okay? When, let's say, in a graduation, you're not acting like how white people act. And you don't have to. You don't have to do it. You don't have to act like white people. But again, you cannot want to be treated the same as other white people when you're not the same. And when you actually promote yourself not to be the same. That's what I'm saying. Okay? I'm not saying, oh, black people bad. No, I'm not. Again, I promote black people to be how they want to be. Hell, I think black people are cool. Cool as shit. But again, listen to the words you want. Listen to the words you're saying. Oh, I want white people to treat me the same. Okay, be the same. Be the same. Okay? This is a thing where, personal opinion, black suburban people, right? Black suburban groups are treated more similar to other white suburban people, right? The white suburban people treat black suburban people a bit more the same because they act the same. That's the thing. So that's the thing you got to understand. I hopefully, again, excuse me if there's construction and stuff. So hopefully you can't hear it. Hopefully. All right, so let's do some more the reactions of this video.
You may not harass women. You may know how to take rejection. The majority of men that most women deal with do not. Yeah. And you are accountable for that as well.
Being upset because...
Sorry about that. There's noise, so it might be hard. I'm going to replay this. Let's play this again.
You may know how to take rejection. The majority of men that most women deal with do not. Yeah. And you are accountable for that as well.
Being upset because of what he said is the problem. That is a major issue for me because it's very simple. It's about proximity. It's about who you have in your friend group and who you have around you as far as family goes, right? Are you checking them when they step out of line? If you're out with your homeboy and he gets rejected and he begins to call this woman out of her name, do you sit there and say, hey, bro, we're not even moving like that, bro? That's not cool. Or do you sit back and not say anything? Or even worse, do you hop in with him? That is the problem. And that's just a mild problem. So if you are not stepping up and checking him when he's out of order on some simple shit, I know you're not checking him when it's on some serious shit. So that's why, as men, we got to hold ourselves accountable, even if it has nothing to do with us. I don't hang out with men for the simple reason I don't need to be trying to investigate or figure out, or if I realize you're a pedo, a rapist, or an abuser. Because now I got to handle you as such. And I always believe this saying, birds of a feather flock together. So if his words, if what he says made you feel some type of way, you really need to do some self-reflection.
No. There's no self-reflection. Does he need to do self-reflection? Because he just literally said it. He doesn't hang out with these people. This is the thing, right? Why why men would be upset. He literally said it. You're not friends with these men already. Yet you need to hold these men accountable. Why? You weren't friends with these men already. Literally, like he said. This is the thing. Birds of a feather flock together. Guess what? The men that cheat, are you surprised that their friends cheat too? No. So really, why would these men, okay, that cheat hold their friends accountable for cheating? They wouldn't. It's like, how can you not think? It's already happening. It's already going on. Okay? Men aren't friends with these men. And the ones that are, well, they are no different. So why hold men accountable? So it actually defeats the purpose. It actually negates the argument, negates the opinion. Because this is the problem why men pander. Because their logic is not effective. Their logic is not logical. It's about social manipulating, right? Social manipulation. Men don't hang out with other men that are, let's say, terrible men. They don't. But if they do, most likely they're already terrible to begin with. So, if these said men that are terrible hanging out with other terrible men, why would they hold each other accountable? Why? So this is the fallacy of this argument, right? It's like you can't understand that. I'm trying to hopefully make it clear. Is that we have to understand that this is already happening. It's been happening. Good men, not 100%, not in totality, but they're not necessarily friends or hanging out with bad men. That usually doesn't make sense. Because then how are you good to begin with? Okay? That's the thing where obviously you weren't good to begin with. So let's say this. Let's say the situation where you weren't good to begin with. Then why would you hold bad men accountable? So it doesn't make sense. Because this is the thing where it's the same ideology where let's tell people not to steal. Let's tell people not to murder. Let's tell them. Oh wait, do we not already do that? We do. They're literally laws. Literally laws. Our society does not promote stealing and murdering and doing crime. Our society doesn't promote it. It educates against it. Yet it still happens. So that's the fallacy where stop wanting to hold other people accountable for things that they wouldn't care anyway. Because this is the thing. How you do it, you don't interact with these people. You're not interacting with these people. And I want to say this, right? This is the fallacy in this. That it makes sense for you in this dynamic where you hold men and women, right? The men and women dynamic. You want to hold men accountable for bad men. Okay. Let it make it make sense to me. Why don't you hold, let's say, in a racial sense? Because it's always, this is the thing where I like to be consistent. And please point out when I'm not consistent. Okay. Because I'm not perfect. I like to learn. If I'm not consistent in something, let me bring it up to me so I could really analyze it myself. But let's stay consistent. If you're going to hold in the men and women dynamic, bad men accountable, then you've got to be consistent. Do it in the racial sense as well. Hold bad people within the race accountable. Usually, you don't. So I hate this hypocrisy. I hate this picking and choosing shit. Stop it. I really do. Now, like I said, if I do something like that, please tell me. So I can recognize my flaws. I can recognize, because I'm not saying no one's perfect. I'm not saying anyone's perfect. Okay, but I would like to point out the the inconsistency in their logic. But please point out mine too, because again, no one's perfect, and I would like to improve. That is stupid.
Words have definitions for a reason. Now, let me say this. I think this brother should have a podcast. I think he's one of the 1 out of 2 people, maybe 3, that actually deserves to have that podcast mic because the brother is smart. I think it's okay to tell men they need to be more compassionate when it comes to women issues. I think it's okay to tell men that you need to be responsible for your friend group. I think it's okay to tell men that they need to show a little bit more sympathy and empathy for what women go through in the lives that they live. But I'm not going to have someone tell me that I need to be accountable for someone that I don't know. I'm not going to let someone project something onto me that I never did and I was never a part of. Some of you have went to therapy. I know your therapist told you it is not okay to generalize and project onto people that never did anything to you. I also understand we live in a time period where implicit bias destroys people, and they can acknowledge it when it's being done to them, but they can't acknowledge it when they do it to others. P.S. Your favorite comedian makes skits about the weird men in this world, and there are men acknowledging that there are weird men, and they say how weird they are. There are men in this world that are friends with girls, and those girls will come to those men and be like, hey, bro is making me feel uncomfortable. Bro is a weirdo. What does your friend do? Automatically gets in defense mode and protects you. Do they not? All I'm going to say, there are billions of men on this earth that a lot of you have relied on to protect you, and they stood up for you. Words have definitions.
It's not like I don't agree with him. A lot of things he said. Let's break it down a little bit.
For a reason. Now, let me say this. I think this brother should have a podcast. I think he's one of the 1 out of 2 people, maybe 3, that actually deserves to have that podcast mic because the brother is smart. I think it's okay to...
Let me say this, okay? I think anyone and everyone could and should have a mic. Because here's the thing where I do want to say this, that everyone has the freedom to have a voice, stupid or not. Because here's the thing, I think even stupid Discord. Well, if people are saying stupid things, you have an opportunity to react to stupid people's takes. I never like to. Maybe I'm in a thing where I'm right now. I'm thinking about absolute, free speech, because even the negative one, if you don't have negative opinions, well, what are you talking about? I mean, how are you gonna fight against or bring up or point out the negativity and fight against it? I think discourse is good, right? I think having Discord is a good thing. Please, I don't know if you guys hear it, but if there's like a lot of background noise, it's because of that. So sorry about that. All right, let's continue this.
To tell men they need to be more compassionate when it comes to women issues. I think it's okay to tell men that you need to be responsible for your friend group. I think it's okay to tell men that they need to show a little bit more sympathy and empathy for what women go through in the lives that they live. But I'm not...
This is a thing where I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that, but I think this is where I think is ridiculous, is that you assume that people don't. You assume that people don't, because this is the thing where, like I said before, is that usually, I'm not saying 100%, good people hang out with good people. Bad people hang out with bad people. It's sometimes weird. I'm not saying this is, again, I'm not saying that, of course there's nuance, there's more individual cases, but I don't think it's a common thing for, let's say, a good person hanging out with a whole bunch of bad people. where let's say a man that never committed crime, but he's very against um God, he's very against crime and stuff, and he hangs out with strictly criminals. That doesn't necessarily make sense. A man that's like, oh, I'm very anti-crime, but you're okay with hanging out with criminals. That really doesn't happen like that. At least not on a very noticeable scale. So sometimes I think it's like, what are we talking about? Yes, I agree. It's okay if men, um, talk about women's issues or like all that stuff. But is again, men are not. That's not something that happens. That let's say, like I said, a man that hates women or a man that's like believe in women equality, believe that women suffer and all this stuff, and don't hate women, hang out with a bunch of men that hates women. That's not really logical. Because then you gotta think this: if you care about women, if you care about women's struggles, or if you care about people, why are you hanging out with people that don't? Why are you hanging out with people that it's not that they don't care, it's that they actively don't care, where or they actively hate, right? It's different where you just hang people who I don't care, right? It's not my deal. But you hang out with people who actively, oh, I'm hating on them. No, that really doesn't make sense.
I'm not gonna have someone tell me that I need to be accountable for someone that I don't know. I'm not gonna let someone project something onto me that I never did and I was never a part of. Some of you have went to therapy. I know your therapist told you it is not okay to generalize and project onto people that never did anything to.
I think this: it's never okay to try to control people. It's never okay to try to change people. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, you have no right to try to change people. You can say what you want to say, but usually, why would you even hang out with these people to begin with? But you can say what you want to say, but we can't. We have no right to change others. They are who they are. I mean, this is the thing. If we could do it, we would be changing criminals to being regular people. That's the first thing we'll be doing. Right? The first thing we're doing, stopping crime completely. Nobody would be committing crimes. But we can't do that. Literally, like I said, we have a society where rules are kind of obvious. Like
You. I also understand we live in a time period where implicit bias destroys people and they can acknowledge it when it's being done to them, but they can't acknowledge it when they do it to others. P.S. Your favorite comedian makes skits about the weird men in this world, and there are men acknowledging that there are weird men, and they say how weird they are. There are men in this world that are friends with girls, and those.
This is the thing where I've said this plenty of times too. I recognize, creepy men, weird men. I've never liked men approaching women like that. To be honest, I've said this countless times. I think men should stop approaching. I think all men should stop approaching. I really do. But guess what? What type of men would listen to that? Good men. Men that would respect women. It's not going to affect the men that don't care. It's not going to affect the bad men. That's the thing where it amazes me that you can't. It's like, yes, no duh, you want to stop men, let's say, from doing creepy things or bad things, harassing women. You saying, okay, on a platform, I say men need to stop approaching. Men need to stop harassing women. Stop approaching women because you're gonna be fine creepy. Okay, guess what type of men will listen? Good men. And they're like, okay, you're right. I don't want to be creepy. I don't want to approach women. Okay, those men are gone. Guess who don't give a shit? Don't give a shit. The men that would do it anyway, regardless of what you say. So really, how are you going to hold those men accountable? Tell me. How are you going to hold those men accountable? And you tell me who's going to hold those men accountable? Their friends? Their friends are most likely just as creepy or don't care as them. So really, It changes nothing. That's why it's a nonsensical argument.
Girls will come to those men and be like, hey, bro is making me feel uncomfortable. Bro is a weirdo. What does your friend do? Automatically gets in defense mode and protects you. Do they not? All I'm gonna say, there are billions.
I have to say, it's pretty disheartening watching so many people, particularly men, not all men, but a lot of men, deliberately misunderstand what Deontay Cowell is trying to say. Deliberately getting caught up in the literal definitions of words, not acknowledging the cultural nuances and not acknowledging the larger message, which is when you as an individual see something, you should say something, especially.
You know why this is stupid, okay? I did a while back. I did this a White Knight story. So a man and his family went into, I think it was Walmart. Okay, a man with his family, his wife and his baby, went into Walmart. So they went into Walmart, saw a couple arguing, and the guy that was arguing with his girl was being violent. So the White Knight was about to go and stop the guy. His wife tried to stop him not to do it. Tried to tell him not to do it, not to butt in. The man didn't listen. The man said, "No, I gotta stop that." He went up there, right, and tried to stop them, like put them apart, like, separate them. That woman got mad at him as well. So both couples, right? The couple that was arguing with each other got mad at him. They left. The guy that was arguing came back and shot him. Killed the guy. So here's a man on the individual level, okay? He cared so much. To help this woman. Cool. Now, that woman still with that man, left. That terrible man came back and killed this man, leaving his child fatherless and turning that woman into a widow. Now what? So what now? What's the outcome now? Please tell me, right? Let's hold men accountable. And now what? No one's caring about that woman, right? No one caring about her being a widow and her child being fatherless. Who cares about that now? This is the problem. It is not on the individual level, okay? It's not on the individual level for us to police others. I'm sorry. Why do we have a government? It's like we are neglecting what was the purpose we established a government? What was the purpose we established a police force? This is the problem we're having. When we are butting in each other's businesses, guess what? That shit can cost other people their lives. Now what? Right? Now what? You want to hold people accountable. So now what? Let's say even, okay, he didn't get killed. Let's say that. He was still getting what if he got his ass beaten? Now what? What now? It's like no one gives a shit, okay? No one gives a shit when that man loses his life or that man gets injured. But we want to hold, we want to have men to hold other men accountable. Guess what? That's the police. And like this is the problem, right? You want to you want to blame the police. You want to chastise the police. I'm sorry, that's their job. Their job is to essentially hold other people accountable for their actions. That's the police. That's the government. We elect these people to do that shit. Because honestly, on the individual level, you don't want your life threatened. Why do you want that?
when it's men within your inner circle. If you see them projecting and doing abusive behavior, if you see them talking really negative and offensive about women, particularly women who look like you, if you see them mistreat children, you should speak up. How is that so asinine of an idea? Also, for clear,
That is asinine of an idea. Is that you are already thinking that, like I said, a bad man he's in a friend group of all good men. That's asinine. That's asinine. You this like the guy before, right? Birds of a feather, right? Flock together. It is more likely bad men have friends that are other bad men. That's more likely. More likely. Okay? The probability of that is higher than the other way around, where a bad man has his friend group is a bunch of good men. Now, let's say this. Who's to say that? Let's say in the other scenario where one bad man has friends with a bunch of good men. Okay, that could be the scenario. No one's complaining about that. No one's saying that, oh, they're not going to hold that man accountable. But at the end of the day, let's say this. They do hold it. They do it. Now what? What does that change? It's like this. We've seen this every day. We've seen this every day, where the scenario of, let's say, an abused abused woman. Okay. How many times have you heard the story of her family telling her to leave, other people telling her to leave? They're trying to help her to leave, and she comes back to him. Or let's say a man cheats, and she comes back to him. Women don't understand that if a group of men, let's say the scenario I just said, right, or one bad man, whole bunch of good men. Okay. Now this whole bunch of good men is holding that one bad man accountable, right? Telling him, don't do this, don't do that. Okay. He don't listen. His girl still sticks with him after, let's say, he abuses her or he cheats on her. Now, those good men look like idiots. Why? Why do they look like idiots? Because honestly, they just butt their nose into something that, well, changes nothing. Changes nothing, because you look like a fool when you try to change the situation and nobody wanted your input to begin with, or nobody listened to your input to begin with. That's the thing. That's the thing where a lot of women and like men like this don't understand. If you preach, okay, the word of, let's say you preach the word of God, okay, and then people listen to it, people hear you say it, but they don't care, they don't listen, and let's say hypothetically they're succeeding, even if you tell me, oh, don't do this, don't do that, they still do it, and they're still doing better. And hell, if they're doing better than you, like let's say a bunch of single men, good single men, telling this one bad man who's in a relationship to stop doing what he's doing to his girl, to his wife, whatever. He don't listen, and his girl, his wife, still sticks with him. What does these single men accomplish? He is in a relationship. A whole bunch of these men are single. Look outside looking in. That bad man is winning, while these other single men are losing. Because you think about, oh, that doesn't make sense. It does. Because we see it all the time where single men, okay, are telling, oh, why, like the players, we talk about this a lot. Oh, the players, the bad boys, the pookies, they're becoming they're getting women's, having sex with women. They're becoming baby daddies. They're getting marriages. They're getting women to want them. Yet the single men, okay, aren't getting nobody. So really, who's winning in those scenarios? It's the men that are in relationships and doing what they want to do. While the men that aren't in relationships, they're trying to hold men accountable, but you hold the men accountable that are winning. Why would the men that you're trying to hold accountable care. Why would they care? They don't. Because honestly, they're winning, you're losing.
Clarification, I don't think he was telling you to walk up to random men and hold them accountable on the street. Which is pretty ironic that that's the sticking point for many men, considering y'all were the same men that told women that we had nothing to fear if we encountered a random man in the woods. But it sounds like you too would choose the bear because you are.
Here's the thing. No, because you have an better time, right, fighting a stranger than you do a bear. You have an easier time communicating with a person you can actually communicate with than a bear that won't understand the shit you're saying. Stop it with that shit. And again, like I said, good men are usually going to hang out with other good men. So that's why a lot of men say that doesn't make sense. Yeah, the only way you can do it is holding strangers accountable. And that's why it doesn't make sense. Because are you hanging out with bad women? Are you hanging out with shitty women?
Are also afraid of holding other men accountable, or at least saying something to men that might cause some sort of reaction from them. But to get back to Deontay's point, if we are going to truly demand liberation for Black people, we have to also seek and demand liberation for Black people within our community. And that means holding each other accountable when we see people doing harm to people who look like us, to women, children, to other men. If it is bad behavior, call it out. And especially you should feel empowered to do so when it's men within your own inner circle. If you can't hold your friend accountable, should you even be on the internet trying to hold anybody else accountable?
For me, right? I'm not saying don't hold people accountable. 100%. 100%. My argument isn't, oh, don't hold people accountable. Don't hold men accountable. No. That's not, please don't think like that, right? I'm not telling don't hold people accountable. What I'm saying is that we do hold people accountable. Right? And I hope that we do it, but we do it more. We do it better. The thing is, that doesn't solve anything. That doesn't solve anything. Because here's the thing where I really like people to understand. I hate it. One thing I hate is that they conflate. They use both race and men and women dynamics interchangeably. And that's hard, right? That's hard because you're kind of moving the goalposts a little bit in this type of scenario, okay? Um, because this is a thing where no one is promoting or happy or whatever that you be violent to other people, to women and stuff. No one. I honestly believe there is more teaching and promoting of people to not put their hands on each other. I think that's more, you know, a thought process that's pushed out more than the thought process of, I don't know, laying your hands on a woman. I don't think so. In my personal opinion, our society, we promote more not to be abusive than to be abused. I don't know. We promote to be abusive. I don't think so. But I definitely know that we are strictly very against, okay, being abusive. So that's the thing where it's not that, it's the thing that holding people accountable. People do that a lot. We call people out a lot. That's the thing where it's just kind of stupid. This argument in the sense that, oh, you need to hold men accountable. We hold men accountable. That's the thing. That's what I think. That's what upsets a lot of men. We do hold men accountable. We do. What people don't understand. You cannot, right? You cannot hold bad men accountable. Why can't you? Why can't you? Because I just said it. Bad men are going to continue to be bad men. One, if they want it. Two, if they see good outcomes from it. Because you think about this. The scenario where, let's say a good man gets heartbroken, rejected, let's say ignored, all this shit by all women. Now that said good man turns into the player, turns into the bad boy. All of a sudden, he's seeing, oh wow, girls want me, girls blah 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 blah. So they're saying now other men are saying, don't be a jerk, don't cheat, don't do all that stuff. Be a good man. Now that's players thinking about why would I be a good man? Why? I'm winning. Women are fine with it. Women are responding to it. Before, when I was a good man, I was ignored. I was rejected. That's how a lot of players come to be. So how are you going to hold these men accountable where society are fine with it? This is a thing where, again, 80% of women, by dating statistics, are attracted to a small subset of men. The small subset of men are either they would cheat on them, won't commit to them, all this shit. How are you going to hold those men accountable to commit to them, don't cheat on them, don't lie, don't lie. How can you hold it? Because a lot of women want these men, because I could use this kind of thing for a lot of things, right? For a lot of talking points. You can't hold bad men accountable, and we do hold them. I'm not saying we don't hold them accountable. We do hold them accountable. What I'm saying is that you can't hold them accountable because they're winning, or they see no reason to, let's say, change. They see no reason to change because I let's say, like I said, more scenarios where I can see a shitty man, a bad father, a man that would be a shitty partner, have, let's say, 10 baby mamas, and shit like that happens. While I know a man, a friend of mine, have you guys seen my my video before? The friend I have used on him. He's a good man, has a stable job, religious, very morally sound. No kids, no girl. You kind of see that, on one hand, a man that doesn't have a kid, that would be monogamous, that believes in relationships, believes in husband and wife and being a good father, has no one. While a man that's shitty would be that is a shitty father, is a shitty man, a shitty partner, would be a shitty husband, has 10 baby mamas. Kind of think about who's winning in life, or who's I don't know if I would say conventionally, who's kind of winning in life, in the sense that he has prodigies. He's been with a bunch of women. Okay? I mean, technically, men that win in life is that they have something to show for it. Well, he's been with 10 women. Okay? He has offsprings. It's kind of winning in life.
Serious question for heterosexual men who are interested in dating women, right? I'm going to be very specific. Heterosexual men who are interested in dating women. Why is it when some of you, not all, I just want to put that caveat out there. I don't want anyone to get distracted by that. Why is it when some of you disagree?
I gotta say too, right? I have these topics where, or some people are saying, "Oh, why do you talk so much about, let's say, black people?" I'm gonna be straight up. There's not many good white conversations. I mean, I don't see white people talking about this to the degree that black people are. So there's really no that many good topics. Okay, I mean, white men aren't telling other white men to, oh, you need to hold white men accountable. You're stupid, but we have the black community bringing the shit like this up. So the topic is more interesting. So love me, hate me, but whatever. This is more interesting content.
Agree with someone online, either their take, their analysis, their logic, whatever. Why is it, especially when that man is doing something in the efforts of trying to protect women, why is it your first instinct, even though you yourself are self-proclaimed attracted to women, want to date women, ideally want to marry and raise a family with women, why is it the insult that you default to is that, oh, he's just trying to look good for women. Oh, he's pandering to women. Oh, he's just using uplifting women as a way to get closer to women. Why is that a bad thing? Why is caring and uplifting and wanting to protect women not your central focus? Especially when you yourself are attracted and want to date women.
Derek Jackson. Derek Jackson. And men like him. What else I need to say, right? What else do I need to say? Derek Jackson and men like him. This is the thing where instead of basing your content on logic, right? Base your content on logic where it makes sense. You base it on emotional manipulation where it doesn't make sense logically, but it makes sense emotionally because it touches at your emotions, touches at your feelings. Where again, women love the thing. Oh, we need to hold more men accountable. We need to hold men accountable. Oh wow, I love that. But really, really, it's like that's not logical because we already do. It's already happening. The problem, in my personal opinion, isn't holding men accountable because we do. Hey, let's switch it around where the same said men say, let's hold women accountable. Oh, there's an outrage with that. There's outrage with that. We constantly say accountability is kryptonite to women. But no, the same said men don't do that. And no women is complaining about that. This is why we say it's pandering. Because your view is one way. You want to, it's women towards men. Right? That's the thing. That's the problem we see. Not because, oh, you're going against men. No. Make it logical. Make it logical. Make it logical. Okay? Instead of making it based on emotions. Make it based on, instead of making it based on catering to women, pandering to women. No. I hold both people accountable. I mean, people will say that, maybe I'm catering to men, but not really. I've said plenty of things, but I mean, maybe I am in the sense that I don't think I'm pandering to men because I've said it. There are plenty of, I don't disagree. I don't agree to men being creepy. I'm definitely for men stopping to ask women out, stop approaching women. I don't think so. I don't know. All these other things. I don't think I pander, but I'm more saying that what I believe is logical and what sounds logical. But this is a thing where, like I said, if you can please, I'm all for it. If you can break down my logic, and I've always believed I'm open minded. Personally, I believe I'm open minded. So if you say something that makes sense, and good, and it could be applied, consistently, then I probably would change my mind. But it doesn't make sense, right? And it's not like it's heterosexual men not wanting to defend women. I think women, they do. It's like you do want to defend women, but it's the thing where it's not defending women, right? It's not like you're defending women because it doesn't make sense to defend women while on one hand you're also trying to attack men. That really don't make sense, and I don't really like that shit. I don't like that shit because defending women doesn't mean that you have to attack men. You don't, because like I said, in my personal, because I believe here's my thing where I believe defending women. Vet men properly. Vet men properly. Don't give your bodies to men on the first night. Don't give your body to men so quickly. Don't have a high body count. Marry before you carry. Those are shit that men or people have been saying for years. It's to defend women. It is to help women. In my personal opinion, men have been trying to help women for years, for most of men's lives. Saying women, don't give your men to the bad boys, don't give your body to the bad boys, is in defense of women. Right? Saying women to vet men properly. Don't give your bodies to men the first night. Don't give your bodies to men so quickly. Marry before you carry. It is those shit are common rhetorics. It's to defend women. I mean, not to hurt women. Where's that to hurt women? Or men saying like, stop doing OF, right? Stop doing OF. Men saying, you know what? Don't focus solely on your career. Like, think about families, think about marriage, think about children. But those things, a lot of women find it like, oh, it's misogynistic. Oh, you hate women. No, that's not. So I find shit like this ridiculous. I really do.
Now that I'm pregnant, we need to get our together.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I think you really need to go ahead and try to get that job and get your license.
I don't need no job. What you talking about? You pick some hours up.
What? I said, what? I don't cut that because I already work full time. What do you mean?
I don't need no job. If I wanna really go get some money, I'll go get some real money right now. I'm not about to be no delivery boy. That's not me.
But we need a job.
I
I
just got out
can't
of
pay my
jail.
bills
I
and
just got out
support
of
another
jail.
human.
You don't support me at all. What do
So
you
I didn't
give me?
support you in prison?
What do you give me now?
A roof over your head, a car to drive.
I got
A
places
car
I
to
can
drive.
be.
Okay, then what are you talking
You
about?
don't support
But that's
me.
what I'm saying.
I
What are you
sleep here
saying?
and you. Like, what you talking about?
I bought you
That's all
clothes
you
boxes,
did.
food boxes.
I'm not saying
Babe, I
you
need
ain't
more. You want exactly. So what are you
But I
talking
have
about?
my own money.
Stop that. But you still would support. I had to help you too. So what are you talking about?
You put money on my books. You got me.
Exactly. More than the next one. What are you
That's why
talking
you're
about?
in the position you're in.
But making you're not
talking
making
about?
sense. You acting like I don't do.
You're in my presence right
that's-
now. What are you talking about?
Now that I'm pregnant.
Do you think that man has men that are morally sound? Do you think that a man like that have friends that are morally sound? And this is a thing where, fuck it. Let's say, fuck it. What if he does? What if he does? Right? I'm gonna give it to you. All his friends are morally sound. Right? All his friends are morally sound. I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna say this too. All of his friends tell him not to do shit. Right? Not to be how he is. Not to be a terrible man. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit. He'll still do it. Here's a fool of a woman providing for this man. Providing for this man also when he was in jail. And now he's out pregnant by this man. This is the problem where what makes more sense is to hold ourselves accountable. Because this is the stupidity. You cannot change others. This man is a criminal. This woman thought it was logical to get with this criminal. This woman thought it was logical, a good idea, to get pregnant by this criminal. What the fuck is other men gonna do? Stop her? Stop her? Because this is the thing. Why would this criminal listen to his supposedly good friends? His supposedly morally sound men. Why? He got this woman. Who he is right now, right? Whatever shitty criminal man he is right now, got this woman to send him money while he was in prison. The criminal shitty man he is right now got this woman to put a roof over his head, got this woman to be fine with giving him her body, being impregnated by him. Why would he listen to anyone else? This is a thing where we have to understand. We have to understand human human behavior mentality. There has to be a negative, right? For us not to do something. This is the thing where we have to accept it. There is no purpose. Like, let's say this: a bad person, an evil person. Like, let's say corporations, right? They could evil corporations. Why would they change when they're making billions? Why? They will only change if they are not making billions. If what they're doing now doesn't affect the bottom line. That is just how the world works. That is a fact. That is human nature. Right? That's human nature. So, what's the purpose of being good? What's the purpose of being good? When here's a bad man still getting women all over him. And I guarantee you, if he's not even with her, another woman will replace her. Another woman will jump up. Another woman would be fine with being his baby mom, his next baby mom. You cannot control bad men. The justice system couldn't even do it. What the fuck are other people gonna do? What is like his morally sound friends gonna do? And that's like I'm giving the benefit of the doubt that this man had morally sound friends. I'm giving the benefit of the doubt, which is most likely not. What are they gonna do?
I'm about to leave.
Are you coming back? You leaving? You don't have nothing to say?
Tired of just talking to you for real.
We gotta figure things out because we have a baby on the way.
We good.
You're not even looking at me. I feel like you're just taking my energy wrong. You feel like I'm coming at you, and really, I just want better for our kid than what we had. That's all. I'm not telling you to stop your dreams. I want you to do everything you want to do in life. I just want to make sure that our kid is good and that they have what we didn't have.
I'm about to leave.
You're 29, not 9. You're 29, not 9. You wanted your kids to have what you guys didn't have. You got with a fucking criminal. You put your kids in exactly, okay, the same situation. This is the problem. Why it makes more sense to hold women accountable. Makes more sense to hold women accountable. And here's the thing. It's not men trying to hold women accountable. It's saying that we need to hold ourselves accountable. She's not a victim. If she is, she's a victim of herself, right? She is her worst enemy. That's the thing where holding yourself accountable. You can't hold terrible men accountable. What you can do is be accountable for your actions, where you don't deal with terrible men. This man was in prison while you were with him. Your 29-year-old self thought it was a good idea. And now that he's outside of prison, you still thought it was a good idea to get impregnated by this criminal. It's like, seriously. I really can't understand this. This is right here. These two clips literally shitted on that man's, the first clip's video, right? That man's whole video. It shitted on that man's whole video. Literally, these two clips. Please argue against it. Please argue against it. This is the thing where it's not good men, right? It's not good men mistreating women. It's not good men mistreating women. I swear to God, show me it. Show me a good man. Please. I really want to know. Show me a good man that is mistreating women. Please. And then prove me wrong. Please prove me wrong. A good man, a truly don't not with that bullshit. Oh, he was good, but he turned out no. He was never good to begin with. It's called manipulation. It's called manipulation, right? Good men don't deal with that shit. I don't need to manipulate you. I am who I am. You like me for who I've said this in plenty of relationships. What you see in the beginning, right? Who I am is who you're going to see at my deathbed. So really, no manipulation there. You like me or you don't. I ain't going to show you, whatever, a suave player, and then later on, like you see a different person. No, I'm who I am. Awkward or, not funny or whatever I am when you meet me is who I am throughout. And it's like, how can you, this is the thing why men would hold women accountable. Because this is the thing, to hold women accountable is to actually try to help women, care for women, so you don't put yourself in those situations like this. It don't matter holding the man accountable because he doesn't care. This is the thing where, there was a comment that they said, no, you have a baby on the way. That man, that shitty man, you can't hold that man accountable because he doesn't care. He doesn't give a shit. He can leave that child. So really, holding him accountable does what? You could tell him, oh, bro, don't do that, right? I'm his good friend, right? I'm his morally good friend. Bro, don't do that, right? Marry this woman. Be there for your child. He said, fuck that. I ain't listening to you. Why would I listen to you? He walks away. Now, this woman is stuck as a single mother. So really, what changes? What changes? So it makes more sense holding women accountable, telling women, don't deal with these fucking men, than it does to men. Because at the end of the day, it is women that is affected. And that's why men actually do care. You see that train of logic shows you that men care. But women don't see it like that. Women don't see that. Women see that if men hold women accountable, if men are holding women accountable, it's men are misogynistic. Men don't care about women. But they do. They do because men think logically. Logically, you can't hold a bad man accountable because he doesn't give a shit. And at the end of the day, he can walk away. Okay? He can walk away. Makes more sense to hold her accountable so she doesn't deal with that fucking man.
Remember, if you see your homeboy putting his hands on a woman and you don't beat your homeboy ass for putting his hands on a woman, then you might as well have jumped the woman that your homeboy was putting his hands on because you accountable for every swing that he throw. You see how dumb that fucking sounds? Exactly. Remember, if you see your home...
It's in my opinion, but I don't have no problem with a woman assuming that I'm a bad man because most men are bad. That shit don't hurt me. It don't affect me. At the end of the day,
I hate that logic. I don't mind that women are cautious of men because there are terrible men out there. I don't mind. I don't mind that women are cautious of men because there are terrible men out there. I don't mind that. That I don't mind.
if you feel like you need to do protective measures because you don't know, do that. Okay, you need to distance yourself. You need to talk to me through a distance. You need to you don't trust me off bat. That's cool. I respect it. As long as you're not disrespectful or as long as you're not putting me in harm's way, i.e. accusing me, we good. It's fine. Do your thing. I respect it. Okay, it shows your IQ. It shows your awareness. Now, I will also say, as a man, if you as a woman have a preconceived negative opinion of me, due to your experiences of men in your own life, I do not care to prove you wrong, nor is that my job. Okay, I'm not going out my way to prove to you that I'm a good guy. I ain't jumping through hoops. I ain't doing all that. That's performative. That's fake. I'm not doing that. I'm just going to be a good man. Okay, that's it. I'm going to do my part. And a healed woman will be able to see that I'm a good person. And even though Deontay Kyle's wording was very poor.
I mean, his wording was poor, 100%. But I also think his messaging was poor as well. I think his messaging was poor as well. Because it don't make sense. I explained it why, okay? So
The message is valid. Okay, at the end of the day, you don't know. You don't know who a good man or a bad man, just like you don't know who's a good woman or a bad woman.
if that's the messaging, that could apply to everything, right? I mean, like you said you don't know a good man, a good woman to a bad woman. I agree. I don't know if that's the messaging because here's the thing: if you go about life like that, and because this is the thing where being at the individual level, right? Being cautious, fine, perfectly understandable. His meaning is that you don't know a good man to a bad man. Okay, but men have to hold bad men accountable. That don't make sense. That don't make sense. If his meaning, right? If that man was meaning, right? He says Deontay, whatever. I really didn't know his name that well. If you are saying that you should be cautious, right, when you're dating because you don't know good man or bad man, okay, understandable, agreeable. But the part where we need to hold bad men accountable makes no sense.
Okay, so just like as men, we need to take protective measures to protect ourselves from them evil women. Women should do the same. I have no. How could you find a problem with that? Because if you've dealt with a quote unquote bad man or woman, you know it's no tell to it. There's signs, of course, but these folks are getting so good at wearing masks, bro. Like you can't really find out until you've had several interactions with them, and the interaction really needs to be a negative interaction to truly know who they are. It's just.
And this is the thing where that's agreeable. You have to have several interactions. This is why I said don't just off the rip have sex with the person. I believe you should be getting to know the person for a good period. However long is up to you, but you should be getting to know the person for a good period of time. What I recommend is getting to know them, or at least asking them questions of how do you act in this kind of situation, like when you're happy, when you're sad, when you're mad, when you're whatever, all these things. Getting to know, because we also sometimes get surprised that, oh my god, they changed up when let's say the whole cliche thing. Oh, they had a job, they were one way. When they were broke, they act a different way. Well, you should have figured that out. You should have known how they will be. That's the thing where vetting is very important. Vet the person. That is very important.
Deontay Kyle of the Grits and Eggs podcast made a video explaining why we as women feel the way that we feel about men as a whole. And he broke it down, providing great examples as he always does. He spoke about how once men stop looking at women as like objects for their gratification and pleasure and view women as human beings, they will understand how valuable women can be to their lives and how much of an asset specifically Black women are to men, Black men specifically. And these fools on the internet calling him an agent of chaos. He is encouraging men to take accountability and to value women and view women as assets and human beings. And these fools are calling him an agent for having sense, mind you. Like, oh, brother, it's crazy. I mean, my God, your own brethren is trying to build you up and open your eyes to what's really going on. And instead of you all listening to what he's saying, you all are saying it was only a matter of time before he had a bad take. Disappointing to say the least. Deontay.
Show me, please, where good men don't value women. Show me. I really hate this ideology, this take where let's include shitty men and add them to the group of good men. Let's do that. Because like I said, it is not that this is the problem. It's not that we don't hold shitty men accountable. We do. Society does. Women do. Okay? But we'll talk about that. I guess we'll talk about that. Is that society do hold shitty men accountable. No one, right, is promoting, oh, you should cheat. You should cheat. Cheating is a good thing. Abusing your girl is a good thing. Objectifying a woman is a good thing. No one's doing it. But here's the thing. You could preach all this, right? Say that, oh, don't sexually objectify women. Treat women like humans. What's fucking seriously? But okay, whatever. Don't abuse women. Don't cheat on women. You could do that, right? You could say that, which I believe people do. Don't objectify women. Boom, women do OF. Women go on social media and literally objectify themselves. Look at this, a bunch of cleavage. Seems like you are sexually objectifying yourself. Seems like it. I mean, how about show modesty? Don't abuse women, and then you get stories of women going back to the abuser. So, and let me say this, right? I want to say this. I learned this statistic recently, so I like to bring this up as much as possible. 70% of one-way violence, okay, one-way domestic violence, 70% of one-way domestic violence is committed by women to men. One way. I'm saying like men aren't doing shit. Women are the ones doing the violence. 70%. 70% of one-way violence, women hitting men. Okay? So, I want to put that out. I just think all this stuff is ridiculous.
If I was to get on this app and I say women should hold women accountable who keep men from seeing their kids, y'all will fully understand and comprehend that. If I was to get...
And this is a thing where we have this. Women treat men like shit. No one's holding women accountable. Women definitely aren't holding women accountable. Women do not hold other women accountable for how they treat men. So really, it's like it's kind of the same across the board. And here's the thing where you know what? Let me say this, right? I don't even actually, rethinking about it, I don't think it's the same. I don't really think it's the same across the board because, like I said, society do hold men accountable. They do. The justice system definitely does. Child support is a way to hold men accountable. Alimony, the way the justice system works in women's favors holds men accountable. Society has hold men accountable. Okay, so plus let's say this, right? Social media entertainment is very women centric. So you get the ideology of women more often than not. Okay, social media, entertainment, it is very women centric. So it has spewed these kind of talking points, these kind of ideology. Don't do this to women. Don't do that to women. Don't do that. Ideology against men. So really, it's this is the thing where we have been constantly trying to hold men accountable. It's like nothing new. Talking about this, I thought this was funny.
And how many people you follow on Instagram?
Like 3,000. Isn't it crazy how we follow so many people on social media, but we don't follow God? That's just insane to me. Like, what are we doing?
Hey, look at her.
God damn, she bad. You know what else is bad? Your chance of getting into heaven. Why are you lusting over that woman like that? Huh? Do better, be better. Stop it. Jesus Christ, can you move? Stop saying the Lord's name in vain, my brother. A simple can you move would have got the job done.
Hey, yo, how was Drake's concert?
Man, that shit was crazy. I was jumping all over the place. I ain't sit down once.
Nah, what's crazy is the fact that you can jump all over the place for another man, but when it comes to God, you can't jump at all. No. I've never seen you jump up and down in church, brother. Never. That same energy you got for Drake, you gotta have for Jesus. I'm just saying. We gotta wake up, people. God's coming. Yeah, I'm out.
Where you going?
Church. It's Wednesday. Doesn't matter the day. A man of God must always pray. See you, brother. Ooh. Give thanks to God before you put that food in your mouth, brother. Give thanks to God before you put that food in your mouth. Come on, let's bow our heads. Come on, let's bow our heads. Dear Lord. Whoa. Vengeance is for the Lord, my brother. And last time I checked, you are not him. Sit down, you clown. Sit down, you clown.
I be rich as hell.
You may be rich in money, but are you rich in spirit? Yes, you may be laughing to the bank, but when it comes to your soul, I'm afraid it's stank. That money you got will eventually rot, but your soul will be here forever, believe it or not. Get right with God, my brother. Get right. I'll be back.
Hey, you forgot this.
And what do I need that for?
To protect yourself.
God is my protection, brother. That little piece of metal we call protection can never protect us how God protects us. Put that down. We don't need that. We need God. I'll be back, man.
I trust her. I can't believe she would do this to me.
You know, I've seen you put your trust in so many women, but I've yet to see you put your trust in God. That's your problem, right? Will you shut up? You could offer me $1 billion reward. I'll never shut up when it comes to my Lord. No!
It's a funny skit and stuff like that. I'm just thinking about, like, let's say that, like I said, there are friend groups that there are male friend groups that have friends that would say against it, okay? But here's the thing where a lot of people don't understand. A lot of men like that would be ostracized. A lot of men like that would not be invited to the cookout, or are not really. You being have this mindset will. I mean, being very morally sound, very a good character man and whatever. A lot of times it will just get you ignored in friends group. But it doesn't mean that there isn't any, right? That's the thing. Doesn't mean that there isn't any. So that's why I want more people to understand. Men do hold other men accountable. That's the thing where a lot of people don't realize, because why they use the different logic is that they find that bad men are doing bad shit. Of course, they don't give a shit. You can't hold bad men accountable. You can hold good men, right? Men that have a bit, or at least some sense of morality. They can see the logic. They can see the sense in it. Because they're not too far gone that they can't see the morality in your words. That's not the issue. That's not the problem. The problem isn't that men aren't holding men accountable. That isn't the problem. Right? The reality is that men can't hold bad men accountable. So, because we believe most women are good women, right? We believe there's a lot of good women. It makes more sense, and we believe that, women dealing with men, usually women would have the bad end of the stick. Well, it makes more sense to hold women accountable. So that's the thing where it gets really tiring and I don't know, idiotic sometimes, where we have these conversations where people are not really thinking, right? Logically thinking. This is why it turns into pandering, when you are going about people emotionally. instead of logically, right? Where it makes sense. Make it make sense. Because in my personal opinion and how I win it, I think I debunked this man's logic already. So now I wouldn't mind for me to hear if there was counter arguments, but I don't believe so. I mean, I'm open minded. This is the thing where I believe I'm not like other creators. I'm very open minded. Make it sound logical, right? Make it make sense to me, please. I'm not saying make it make sense to be sarcastic. I mean, make it make sense. That's it. So, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? That was interesting. I thought it was good. So, hopefully, you guys like it.